My name's Joanna Poulton and I'm a somatic practitioner. Now, somatic means all about the body versus psyche, which is all about the mind. Okay, I'm here today to talk about the foundation of somatic work, which is the nervous system. Our nervous systems record every single moment of our lives, every sensation, every emotion and movement that we experience is governed by the intricate web of our nervous systems. It holds our traumas, it shapes our responses, it determines our capacity for pleasure and connection and healing. The body remembers absolutely everything, even when the mind forgets. But before we dive in, let's remember that humans are mammals and we share the same nervous system with all mammals. Now, the thing about mammals is that we're designed to live and survive in groups. Our nervous systems co-regulate, that means react with each other. You've probably seen on nature programs where a pack or a herd of mammals can sense a threat and there's a ripple effect that's sensed by the entire group. Well, humans are exactly the same. We can feel what's going on without words. The superhighway of the nervous system is the vagus nerve. It's the longest nerve in the body. It emerges from the base of the brain stem. In fact, it's actually two nerves initially, and it links all the sensory features of the face, including the eyes, the ears, the nose, the taste sensors even at the back of the tongue, and it connects all the muscles responsible for facial movements. It then travels down the throat, connecting the voice box, and it joins to become one nerve as it enters the chest cavity. It connects the lungs, the heart, and it travels down the windpipe and connects the stomach, and then it enters into the digestive system and follows the path through the small intestines, the large intestines, and it finishes in the third and final part of the colon. In a female body, the vagus nerve also connects with the cervix. So, this superhighway nerve is responsible for passing information from the body to the brain and back again. And the interesting thing that scientists have discovered is that these messages pass up the nerve faster from the organs to the brain than the messages that pass down. And what this tells us is that the nervous system is always one step ahead of the brain. Whatever we experience in our life, the nervous system reacts first and the brain catches up, processing information to make sense of it all. The main job of the nervous system is to gauge our sense of safety at any given time and basically to keep us alive. But let's remember we're mammals. Our nervous systems are designed to co-regulate and work with each other. A wonderful neuroscientist called Stephen Porges was fascinated by nonverbal communication and the links between social interaction, physiology and emotion. His research with small mammals and the understanding of their nervous system led him to develop polyvagal theory. Now, polyvagal theory, long word, don't be off-put by that, but it's an absolute revolution in understanding how we live with each other. It teaches us that the nervous system is a dynamic three-part system built around this long vagus nerve, and it determines how we live and experience the world. Let's have a look now at those three parts. So you can see on this diagram that the heart and lungs sit in the central area of the vagus nerve. And when they are activated, that's what we call the sympathetic nervous system state. When we're feeling unsafe and we're faced with a threat, all the energy needs to go to the heart and lungs to help us survive. We've probably heard of fight and flight. This occurs in the sympathetic nervous system state. Adrenaline is released, the heart rate increases, and the lungs breathe faster to accumulate oxygen, and the rapid sympathetic response determines our survival. This state can also be activated if we're feeling safe, for example, when we're engaged with sports and if we're in a play state. Engaging in play, by the way, is crucial for mammals, but more about that later. Moving down the diagram, you can see that the organs of the stomach and the digestive system are linked to the dorsal part of the vagus nerve, the lower third. And these are activated during what we call the parasympathetic nervous system state. We refer to this sometimes as rest and digest. So at night, when we're still and feeling safe in our beds, our bodies work to digest the food and innervate the immune system within the gut to make all the healing and repairs that the body needs. What clever Mr. Stephen Porges identified was the importance of the upper third of the vagus nerve. Okay, so remember, this connects all the sensory organs, the ears, the eyes, the nose, the facial movements, and the voice box. So what he found was that the nervous system of mammals not only connect to communicate the threat, the ripple effect, remember, but they connect to calm each other down after the threat. Mammals use their sensory organs to co-regulate. Let's think of an example. Okay, imagine for a moment ancient man. Now, he was designed to live in a group. One day he goes off into the forest hunting. While he's out alone, he meets a threat, a dangerous rival from another tribe. His nervous system has an instant reaction. He cannot control what that reaction is. In a split second, his body decides the best outcome for keeping him alive. He reacts either by fighting, or he may run. He may have the flight response, or he may freeze and hope that the predator doesn't see him. Or he may fawn. He may try to charm the predator, befriend him so that he doesn't get killed. The important thing to remember is that he cannot decide which response to take. His body decides way before his brain has even deciphered what's happening. Sometimes so much energy is required for an immediate sympathetic response that the dorsal vagus, this lower half, shuts down completely. And this is why in some extreme situations the bowels will evacuate their contents, as all the energy is sent to the heart and lungs for survival. Anyway, back to ancient man. Let's say that the threat passes, he survives. He returns to his tribe. They meet him, they gather round. He begins to tell the story of what happened. He uses his voice. He sees the loving, concerned looks of his friends. He makes eye contact with his family. He smells his people. He hears their calming voices, and he feels their touch as they embrace him. They breathe with him. All of these sensory actions begin to calm his nervous system, and his fight and flight response, which had been fully acted, is now regulated. This is the importance of the upper third of the vagus nerve. Stephen Porges named it social engagement. All mammals, in order to co-regulate and calm down after a sympathetic nervous system response, have to come into social engagement. It's essential for feeling safe. With social engagement, once we feel truly safe, this section of the vagus nerve sends messages down to the gut to bring the energy back down to the parasympathetic state, so that rest, digestion, and healing can resume. But we have to come into social engagement first for this whole process to work and for our optimum health. It's not the simple on-off switch from sympathetic to parasympathetic that we once thought. That's all very well for ancient man who lived in groups. But in modern society, we're so much more isolated from each other. It's harder to activate social engagement, and therefore much harder to co-regulate. No wonder so many of us live with chronic stress. And no wonder lockdown had such an adverse effect on our well-being by keeping our nervous systems in separation. Polyvagal theory and the understanding of the central role of the vagus nerve has profoundly changed our understanding of trauma. We now know that we cannot choose our trauma response. There's no cognitive thought involved at all. It's a nervous system response, much faster than our thoughts can keep up. Many of us may have experiences in our lives where we thought to ourselves, Why didn't I run? Why did I freeze? Well, the answer simply is that the nervous system decided that at that time that was the best option for survival. Polyvagal theory highlights that by sharing our story, being with others, coming back into safety is vital after a trauma response. It also shows us how trauma responses may get embedded if we don't have the full opportunity to co-regulate and feel safe with our trusted tribe. This explains why some of us may flip into fight or flight at the drop of a hat. Our sympathetic response may be stuck and primed for threat. If we cannot trust others, then we're always on high alert. We could become hypervigilant. Our heart and lungs are always activated. We may live with high blood pressure, rapid breathing. Our sensory organs become accustomed to looking for threat instead of seeking safety because our experiences have taught us that nowhere feels safe. Activating the senses, the sensory organs, ideally with trusted friends, is key to healing this state. Sometimes, if we experience an extreme freeze state, then the dorsal vagus, the lower third, can shut down completely, making us numb or dissociate from what's going on. An embedded freeze state may keep us stuck in a parasympathetic slump, a long-term freeze. The trauma of reliving the sympathetic state and bringing energy to the heart and lungs is too overwhelming, so the body keeps us slumped down in a parasympathetic state. This can lead to chronic autoimmune disorders and depression. Again, the way out of this state is through social engagement. Easier said than done, but even speaking on the phone, hearing trusted voices, making gentle eye contact and connection are the foundations for healing. We have to feel seen and heard to begin to heal. A great way to begin to heal for anyone stuck in a chronic parasympathetic state would be to engage in any kind of team activity, anything that brings movement combined with social contact. If you really don't want to engage with sports, I understand, but maybe try card game, board games, any kind of play, anything that includes movement. Play is an essential part of being a mammal. All mammals play with each other, and the reason they do is to flex and stimulate and practice their nervous system responses. When you see dogs making eye contact, growling at each other, but circling around, you know that they're engaged in play. Team sports are brilliant at fostering response flexibility. When the heart and lungs are pumping and the sensory organs are working, we're making eye contact, everything's working at the same time. But sometimes, as we can see in football matches, for example, there can be a hairline trigger between feeling safe in a heightened sympathetic state and feeling unsafe, when 1 minute you're playing a game and the next minute, boom, a fight breaks out. The fawn response is interesting as it uses the social sensory organs to talk the threat down, to charm the predator. In our society, many of us get stuck in repetitive fawn responses. We use our social engagement, but we're not feeling safe. If we do not know what safe feels like, then we may repeat unsafe relationships built on the stuck fawn response, and we might slip into people-pleasing tendencies. A good place to start to help to shift the fawn response is to ask yourself, where is my safe place? How do I feel when I'm in my safe place? Take yourself to your safe place and notice how your body's reacting. Notice how your body reacts when you're with certain people. Are you feeling safe with that person, or are you not feeling safe? Start to make choices that feel safe for your body. Understanding polyvagal theory changes everything, from knowing how we heal trauma to understanding how we relate to each other. It reminds us that behaviour isn't just about choice, it's about what state our nervous system is in. So if you ever feel stuck, anxious or disconnected, ask yourself, What does my nervous system need right now? Instead of fighting yourself, give yourself what you need to shift, to feel safe. You do have the power to rewire your system. Start from the place of safety and you can reclaim your vitality. I realise that this is a lot of information I've shared today about polyvagal theory, but you can go back and re-watch this anytime at all. It's such a profound learning to understand how the body protects itself and also how it heals. Remember, healing takes place when we feel safe. As a somatic practitioner, I work a lot with social engagement, with movement, breath, in order to help my clients to feel safe. Only then can we gently invite the traumas and the tensions held by the body to rise to the surface. We go beyond the stories created by the mind. We communicate with the body on a deep nervous system level. I do have another video with Kalo that demonstrates techniques for noticing your sense of safety, methods for toning your vagus nerve, and how to use your breath to regulate your nervous system, and also how to come into co-regulation with others. Meantime, I send you all so much love, good vibes for a calm and peaceful day. Okay, I thought I'd take the opportunity to show you some techniques on how to calm your nervous system and feel safe. So something that I use regularly is a longer out breath than the in breath. I always use the numbers 4 and 7. It just works for me. So what we're going to do is breathe in for 4 and out for 7. If you want to try this breath, you'll find that it really is very, very calming and can help to calm a sympathetic activated state. So let's try, okay? We're going to breathe in, 4 and out, 5, 6, 7. Breathe in, 4, breathe out. 5, 6, 7. Well done. And again, breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A couple more times. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. And breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well done, that was brilliant. Okay, another really good tip. If you're home alone in your own space, try this. Make a sound on the out breath, because what that does, it helps you to have a longer out breath, which as we've just seen is really calming, but it also helps to flex and tone the vagus nerve. So here's an example of what I mean. Breathe in. Ah. You're bringing sound to the out breath. Let's try it again. Breathe in. Ah. Breathe in. Ah. Ah. You might notice yourself do that naturally if somebody that you care for is feeling anxious or is in a heightened state. Notice next time that we naturally help to calm each other down by kind of sitting next to them and okay, it's got an instant calming effect. Something else, another tip to flex and tone the vagus nerve is just to turn the head to one side and then the other. You might find that this brings on a yawn, which shows you that it brings instant relaxation. So all you're going to do is turn your head. Ready? Hold it there. I told you it would bring on a yawn. Well done, coming back to center. And then we're going to move the other direction. Oh, here we go, I'm yawning. Oh, now yawning is actually so good for relaxing. Have a stretch and a yawn. And if you remember, as mammals, we co-regulate. That's the reason why when one person yawns, everybody else around them yawns as well. So have a stretch and a yawn. Instant relaxation for the body. Well done. Bringing touch, simple touch to the body as well. Coming into the body is a really good way to help you feel safe in your body. And also shaking the hands. If you've just experienced a heightened sympathetic state, just have a shake. Shake and a shudder, that's it. A little rub. Well done. Just simple tips to bring you back into a place of calm and feeling safe within your own body. Watch the other video where I give a lot more tips and can show more practices and movements which relate to not only how we co-regulate with each other, but how to calm and use the nervous system.